if I recall correctly, she said she was going to attend to the sick and needy among the citizens of Hakak.
That sounds like a worthy cause. But I have to go to Hakak anyway to see that justice is delivered in the case of Abraxo, and this mess just needs to kind of be cleaned up. So I'll talk to her when I get there. In the meantime, if you could take care of the grounds and do the best you can, I would appreciate it.
She says, "I will do this, my brother Balmer."
Good.
All right. So you was there anything else you did in Orlane beside kind of set things aright with her and kind of decide that you're taking a Brahmo back to Hakak?
Probably just stop, on my way out of town if there's anyone needs help with their crops or whatever. Basically just do my job on the way to Hakak and while dragging crazy guy behind me.
Okay, well, for the next day or two that you stayed in Orlane, there were a couple farmers that were trying to reestablish themselves. So you did blessings over their crops to try to help, speed them along, because this is the planting season right now.
Right.
Okay.
And then any, also oversaw any marriages that needed to happen, et cetera, et cetera.
None of that was happening in Orlane at the time. The next thing that happened is that you guys got to Laylam's Orchard. And when you got there, you found that it was being just demolished by two hill giants that were evidently like throwing rocks at each other. And the group of you went in and, one, Killian harassed him from a distance with arrows. And you ended up riding with Leonin kind of toward the tail end, while Amir lost his horse, and Grundar got battered around a bit, but ended up dealing the killing blow to both of them, I think, didn't you?
Yeah,
And of course, minutes later, the Knights of the Watch showed up from Hakak, about well over 1,000 strong. You guys met this older kind of knight statesman fellow named Sir Horace Omstead, who seemed like a real stiff-backed sort of
fancy pants
character. Yes, Sir Fancy Pants. And he sent you guys back to Hakak with an escort of 50 knights to make sure you made it there okay. And when you got to town, that's the next question. What did you do? It's been, you had most of the day to yourself.
We've had one day.
I'd probably turn Blammo over to the people.
Well, one of the first things that the group did was you got introduced to the Reeve. Kierdan Weirson is his name. People call him Lord Kierdan. And so, I mean, he is like the regional Reeve, does all the tax collecting, outside of the town of Hakak, within the barony / cantrip of Farvale. He's like the ultimate authority at the moment. So it would stand to reason you'd probably turn him into Kierdan.
Yes.
Okay, and you explained to him what this guy's responsible for then.
Yes, I do.
Okay. You got the same thing going on I do, man. I got like this tickle in the back of my throat that I keep like suppressing a cough.
Oh, it's not just a tickle. I'm full-blown sick, but this happens like I've been working like 90+ hour weeks for 5 weeks straight and no days off. So.
Oh God, blows.
Yeah.
So does his nose.
Yeah. Oh, real quick.
That's a real sinker, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. Tyler, I forgot you got to draw from the deck for your story.
Right.
And did you take a draw, Ryan, last time for your story? I think you must have.
I took one last week. I didn't take one this week.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you wrote your story related to the last one, right? I can't. I think so.
Yes, but I've done 2 journal entries.
All right. We'll take another draw.
Ha ha! How many cards? 20.
Right.
Pick a card.
You guys want to play poker with our hero deck?
Okay.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I'm gonna get to spending. Trust me.
So you turn Abramo over to Lord Kierdan. He listens to everything you said, and he says he'll be taken to the dungeons, and he'll be given a trial. You'll probably be asked to give testimony at that trial, unless you think there's anyone else here aside from you that would be a better person to provide that testimony. He's like, but it sounds like you at this point are the senior most member of the church that could really speak to what it was you saw, what he did.
Yeah. Well, I am looking for Sister. What's her name?
Anja.
Yes.
Sister
Okay.
Fancy Pants.
Right.
Just because I know that she had some experience about some of the things that were going on there too. So that might serve to help with the testimony as well, because I know that she left to come here out of kind of a protest of the things that were going on in Farvale.
Yeah, he says, Sister Anya, he goes, if I'm not mistaken, I think she tends a small shrine within the temple at Watcher Hill. It's like you could probably go see her there.
Sounds like a plan.
About that time, Kierdan, wants to pull Killian aside, and the group kind of, they end up kind of sitting around, and it seems as though the majority of your debriefing around the events of the cult of the reptile god is at an end.
Cool.
So do you stick with the group, or you run off on your own to go see Sister Anya?
I go find Sister Anna because I don't have to go back and babysit the temple.
Okay. Okay, you get directions. You work your way through town. In the distance, you can see Hawkok Keep, which is a large it's a large castle, kind of sitting up on a hill at the bend of the river. But before you get to that, you find that there is a nicer portion of town with manor houses, and just beyond it, there's kind of a small hill, and on top of that is a large church. It has symbols of many gods, and it looks like in Old Iridian, which I don't. What languages do you speak? Any other human languages beside the common tongue?
Let me pull up my character sheet here.
That question comes up so often, like a lot more often than I thought it would, to be honest.
I think I'm the only one that speaks Old Iridian.
Yeah, I think I.
Guys, this is where it's easy being Grundar.
I speak one language.
Yeah.
No, I
I just,
don't.
when I think of
Orc and
Grundar,
common,
I think
right?
of that one. When I think of that one scene in I
speak-
don't know if any of you have seen Conan the Barbarian. Hopefully, everybody has, where
Three
Valeria
languages.
comes out of the shadows and she says, "Do you know what horrors lie beyond these walls?" Conan just looks over. He just no. That's Grundar. No.
No, do I care?
That's
You know
right.
what? You're right. I changed my
For some
answer
reason,
from
I-
celebrity to Conan.
Elven, Dwarven, and Common.
Okay, so you don't quite understand, the it looks to you like some kind of mix of like Old English and Latin, from what you're able to read. But you can definitely see symbols of Pelor most prevalent, which Pelor is really he's the god of the sun. He's really part of the old faith of the Flan people, but a lot of people across the Flanius, Iridians, the Sulois, the Baclunish, all the different people, all at least are aware of him, and a lot of people give him pay homage to him. His symbol is definitely the largest on this church, which is really interesting because Pelor is really, those that are real priests of Pelor oftentimes are Flanish, and a lot of rites to Pelor are done at like these old standing stones and menhir, which is a little odd that you'd see it on a church. But here in Hakak, you see some kind of script. You can't really recognize it, but you see the symbol of Pelor, and then you see lots of other smaller deity symbols. Make a religion roll.
You already did.
You should check your screen there, dude.
Oh,
He's
I'm not there.
he's
right now.
one step ahead of you.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you see symbols. Rather, okay. It's a little eclectic. Okay. You see symbols of Saint Cuthbert. Also, like Pelor, has kind of crossed boundaries. It's kind of a polypantheistic sort of deity. You also see Heronius, which is very much an Iridian god of weaponry and combat, chivalry. And then you also see Kellinan, the Prince of Swords, which is an old Iridian hero deity, at some point. One symbol of Marika is kind of like below Pelor, which, I mean, you can kind of understand why it would be seen that way. And so yeah, you know that at least there's a presence here within the church where Marika must be, like, maybe she has her own little shrine inside the temple.
Well, it sounds like space is at a premium in the city, so the fact that they're all in one spot makes sense. It's kind of like when I was in Singapore, there was a temple to Kali, and then all the other gods were kind of represented there too, but it was mostly to Kali. So.
Temple of many faces.
Well, Indians especially, I've found, like, you're right. Like I was at a temple of Vishnu in like this little backwater town in southern India, and it's like, hey, it's a temple of Vishnu, but there's like about 25 other gods that like have little, shrines inside of it. That's kind of the deal with this place. Anyway, you wander in, and you can hear different chanting in different languages in different alcoves of this church. And Iesu Domine. So you find a little alcove that has a symbol of Marika with the sheaves of wheat over it, and sure enough, inside of it, there's a statue to her and a small bowl with fruits and vegetables at the altar. The fruits and vegetables are all fresh. Nothing is like rotted or anything like that. And there's a little bowl for alms, and there's like a few copper in it, and a bowl of clean water. And that's really it. There's probably enough room in here for maybe 5 to 8 people at maximum to kind of squeeze in here and pray, and that's about it.
Well, Marika is really, our god of the land, so having a big temple to her doesn't make a whole lot of sense in a lot of cases, unless it's like a big farming area like Farvale is. So, I stop and pray and make an offering and add a few gold to the copper coins.
Okay. You hear a sound behind you, and you see a human woman, maybe middle-aged. She moves up and kind of, walks up beside you and kneels. She prays as well. Doesn't look like a typical commoner around here. She looks very rustic. Most of the people around here have a very particular way of dressing that you kind of see as like very, they're very much townies. She looks more. She's dressed more like a midwife in a small village, and she also has a very prominent holy symbol of Marika on her, on the front of her tunic.
Sister Angela, I presume?
She opens her eyes and looks over. It seems a bit startled. She says, Sister Anya. She goes, and you are?
I'm just a messenger of Marika. The temple of Farvale has been cleansed of evils. Marika bids you to return and take up your place as the rightful leader of the church.
She seems to, she inhales, kind of like, and she says, evil had befallen the temple in Orlane.
The temple, the town, the lands around it, a lesser god of evil intent had bewitched the minds of many, including Father Abramo's mind. And unfortunately, he will never recover from not only what he experienced, but the evils he committed while under, control.
She, her eyes narrow, and she says, "I know you." She says, "You're the dwarf that Father Renly brought into the church so many years ago." She goes, "But she goes. Well, I would have thought you dead by now. That had to have been 30 years ago." She goes, "But then again," she goes, I suppose you don't age like humans, do you?"
No, I don't.
So she said, what about, okay. She's still kind of reeling. She says, so Father Abramo is
Dealt with.
okay. What about Sister Misha?
Misha is experiencing a crisis of faith. She too was bewitched, though the acts that she committed are nowhere near those of Abramos. I have bid her to care for the temple in your stead in the meantime, and then once you return, I would like her to reconnect with the land for a bit.
Okay. Just a real quick question. Is anybody else kind of hearing when Jason talks like a little bit of
Yeah, a
like,
little bit of crackle.
okay, what about me? Is it just on Jason's end or is it
It's
for
just on
everybody?
Jason's end.
Okay. All right. Well, it's not terrible. I just noticed it and I was curious. Okay. So she says to you, Balner, she goes, this is quite a lot to take in. She says, what of you, Brother Balner? Will you stay in Hawkok then?
I do not know where Marika's plans for me currently reside. I am currently traveling with a group who aided me in freeing the temple and the town and the nearby lands, and we are currently in the process of kind of sorting out what happened with that.
She says, it sounds like Orlane is in serious need, and so is Sister Misha.
Sister Misha just needs time to heal. And, sometimes getting out and doing what's best for, your deity is the best thing for you. So I think she just needs a break from being in town and the reminder of what happened there.
Okay. She says, if I do this, she goes, and I will. I must. She says, somebody needs to maintain not only the small shrine here, she said, but also the people who have begun to come to me looking for aid. They come here, sometimes all hours of the day and night looking for help. Will you take that on?
I will take that on as best I can.
She rises and puts a hand on your shoulder. She says, I know you will. She says, Brother Balner, she says, I hear the truth of your story. She takes a key from around her neck and she hands it to you. She goes, I will gather my very few belongings. She goes, there are a few rooms down below that we can avail ourselves of, and you can take the key to my room. She goes,
Ooh.
not like what you think.
Not like a man.
Franco.
She says, I will begin traveling immediately to Orlane. She goes, you can take my room as long as you stay here and maintain the shrine.
I will do so.
She says, understand that it's, she goes, while I have not taken a vow of poverty, she says, the townsfolk do not pray to Marika often. She goes, occasionally you'll see travelers come in, from some of the outer farms, and they'll come here. But, she goes, honestly, we've been getting a lot of refugees in the town. They've overflown Hawcock's ability to maintain them, and they've been setting up along the river to on the south of the walls. She goes, those people need help.
I will do my best for them.
Okay.
And I stop and give her a few gold coins to help her ease her travel to be more comfortable.
She thanks you and says, once we reestablish the temple in the temple in Orlane, she says, I will send aid here to you at Hawcock as well.
I appreciate that.
I'm
All right.
just dropping gold coins, man.
So
Well-
so she heads out immediately. How long do you stay there at the little shrine here?
A few hours in case someone shows up.
Okay, about 30 minutes later, you see her again, and she's got like a coat on, and she's got a backpack and a bedroll, and pretty much you think probably everything the woman owns, she's carrying on her, and she's got a walking staff, and she bids you farewell. She says, I'm leaving now.
Go with Marika's blessing.
Okay, you now have the shrine.
Roger, I have the shrine.
I have the con.
Let's see here. Okay, you stick around for a little over an hour. The day wears on, and you haven't had any visitors to the shrine.
Okay, well then I will slowly, close up the shrine except for, if anything overly valuable.
You take what few copper are in the bowl, and
Pretty much. Well, I mean, the thing is, I'll leave the food there because it's just going to go bad. And if someone comes by and is hungry, so hungry that they need to eat it, I think that would be okay.
sure, you can run the shrine how you like.
Hang up the sign, eat shrine food at own risk.
We are not liable for
Consumption of this food may,
Blessings of Marika may not heal the illness that you acquire from food. That's true.
All right. So, what do you do in the evening? You're kind of in a town. You've really stayed away from Hawcock because even though it's not a full-blown city, it's a town so big that it's really kind of burgeoning and becoming a major city, especially with these refugees that Sister Anya mentioned.
Gosh, I'm not really sure what I would need. Maybe go pick up some spell supplies.
So you want to try to find a local apothecary or something like that?
Yeah, because in using things like some of the stuff is must crush a ruby and blah blah blah. So
You find people immediately point you. First of all, you meet a priest of Palor that happens to check in and makes he kind of like, oh, a dwarf. Oh, and you're a priest. He introduces himself as hang on here.
we compare Warhammer sizes.
Father Tarot.
Oh wait, I guess I have a mace now, don't I?
He introduces himself as Father Tarot. And you ask him, and he said, well, probably the easiest, to just find the majority of the things you're looking for. He says, look, if you've not been to Hawkok, yeah, right. See the real card.
It's a trap card.
He says, no, it's more like tarot, as in like the ant killer stuff. But he says there's two places to go to get really just about anything you need for an expedition. One is Olwen's Outfitters, and the other one is the Cautious Dwarf. He says, and no, I'm not mentioning it because maybe it's like your cousin. I know there's a lot more dwarves out there than that. He goes, but it does happen to be run by one of your people.
My people.
Well, I mean, he goes,
Well, what are you trying to say? I just kidding you.
you see, he kind of mops his brow a bit.
Okay. Well, thank you.
He welcomes you. He welcomes you to the temple, and says, if you want to attend any of his services, feel free. Everybody here is very welcoming and very open and tolerant.
Oh, that won't do it all.
Hashtag dwarf lives matter.
He goes. He does lean in conspiratorially. He says, well, except for those priests of Saint Cuthbert, they're a little.
Well, yeah, they have always been a little,
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for your assistance. I'm sure you'll see more of me. I guess the one thing is, if someone does happen to come by looking for, the temple caretaker, I will be staying at blah 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 inn. So if it's an emergency, they find me.
He says, well, you're welcome to stay here at the temple. He goes, we have several rooms for the attendants of the shrines.
I will probably be staying there, but at the moment, all my belongings are back at the other inn, and I'd kind of like to get one more comfortable night in.
He claps you on the shoulder. He goes, it does take a bit to make the rooms here comfortable.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, he says he kind of walks you out as you're headed out, and he goes, just so you know, he says, only the major priesthoods here have to tithe to the temple for the upkeep. He goes, the Shrine of Marika is small enough at this point that is unnecessary.
I appreciate that, and I will keep that in mind based on finances and tithe accordingly.
Excellent. And you part ways. All right, we're gonna. So you head off if you need anything particular. You can hit one of those outfitters. You can buy anything from the Player's Handbook at standard price. You can, there's no worries there. All right, let's move on to Ryan, and I think you and Leonin and Grundar kind of went and got a room together, or
No. Separate rooms.
Well, but I'm saying you
Same
both
place, separate rooms.
got rooms at the Walton's Winery.
Come on, you don't want to share a bunk with your old buddy Grundar.
No, Grundar, no. Thank you very much, but no.
So they really only have one room, one set of suites that they put you up in. what they're able to do is there's a really good, like above the stables, they have an area where squires and a lot of other people will bed down. But I mean, really, it's a glorified barn. So they basically are like, well, that's what we have. I mean, if you don't want the dwarf with you, sir, then
It's above a bar.
barn.
Oh.
With an N.
Oh, I thought you said a bar. I'm like, that's Grundar's place right there.
Basically, they have a coach house, and he would stay up in the loft up there.
Yeah, he's fine up there.
Okay, very good. So you
So where
spend
am I staying?
I'm just gonna
You
like
spend-
point that way.
you spend the night there.
In the penthouse. Awesome.
So you actually like the smell of horses and animals and all that kind of stuff, Grundar, and you actually feel rather at home. You when you were among the orcs, you had to tend animals, herd animals, and
How
stuff.
do they
from
make
time
it
to time.
feel so homey?
Right. So, morning comes, and you still haven't gotten out of bed yet, Leonin, when kind of a footman comes to the door and knocks lightly.
Am I within shouting distance to this door? How big is this room? Like,
You're like, there's like a main entry, and then there's like kind of like it's like a receiving area, and then there's like a dining room this way, and then a bedroom this way, and so you're like kind of one room over. You'd have to yell a bit, but
yeah, I'll yell. What do you want?
my lord, there is a Sir Maximilian Paxton here. Says that he is waiting for you.
Max, I told you I'd meet you there in the morning. What time is it?
At this point, he's like, "Sir, no," and you hear the door open up. He comes in. You see him come around the corner. Kind of into your bedroom area. He's still a little bit rumpled, and he's like, "I need to use your restroom to clean up a bit."
That way.
Footman kind of pokes in, and he's like, "Is everything okay, sir?"
Everything's fine. He's cool. He's
Shall
seen me.
I,
He's seen me in less decent situations than this. So
Shall I send for your dwarf, sir?
first of all, he's not my dwarf. He's just a friend. But no, just let it. I'll go get him here in a bit.
Oh, very good, sir. Okay. And he excuses himself. He says, "Would you like food brought up?"
Yes. and have is there any like good like beer or anything like that downstairs?
Oh, absolutely not, sir. This is a winery.
Well, whip something up for Grundar as well, if you don't mind.
Oh, something to a dwarf's tastes.
No, he has normal tastes.
He says, "Very good, sir," and off he goes. A short while later, a servant comes up bearing a couple of big trays. There's several meats, cheeses, fruits, all kinds of things in there. Max comes out from your privy, looking a little bit less drunk and a little bit less rumpled.
What's up?
He says, "Oh, food, excellent."
Max, I told you I'd meet you at Rose's house. What's going on?
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I know you're probably pretty drunk. Hey, how did it go with Amir? Huh?
Oh, he says, fantastically. He says, yeah. Did I give her a name? Did you ever know? You didn't? Did you know? her name?
Isabel. Was her
Isabel.
Oh,
name.
yeah, right.
'cause-
Of course, Amir remembers.
Yeah, he says.
Yeah, 'cause I was the only sober one in the
Yeah.
bar.
He says we totally got Amir into a room with Isabel. He goes, I'm sure that everything went well from there.
Excellent. So what's up? What was so
Oh,
urgent?
Nothing. He's like, we haven't really talked in a score of years almost. It seems like. He's like, I just thought I would walk over with you and we could chat.
Yeah, let's do it. I gotta make a stop real quick. I gotta stop and find a messenger. But yeah, we can chat on the way.
Okay. All right. So you tank up on food and drink. Grundar, you have somebody throws rocks underneath. You kind of feel the little thump thump, and then you hear. Did you give him the name of the dwarf?
Yeah, Grundar. Yeah.
All right. Good dwarf, Grundar. Your lord has provided food for you.
Who the fuck is my lord?
Out of character, I said, I definitely said that he wasn't.
So he's standing back a bit with a tray of food and something to drink, and he says, "I'll
Wait,
just
did
leave
you-
this here for you, then."
Wait, you said food? Or I'll be right down.
All right, and he leaves it there and quickly retreats. So you're feeding your face when you see Leonin and a guy you vaguely remember from last night come walking out to the coach house.
Grundar, you ready to go? You want a to-go baggie? They do those here.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you yeah, Max is walking with you and he says where he was like headed, where Rosalie lives and then you veer off. He's like, "Where are you headed?"
I gotta go to get a messenger real quick. I gotta send a letter.
He says, if you don't mind my asking, where are you having it sent to? Oh, he says, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine.
I could tell him where. It's what's the name of the place again? I'm sorry. What's the city?
Shibboleth.
Shibboleth. I need to send a message to Shibboleth.
He says,
God bless you.
Thank you, Grundar.
he says, well, he's like, he goes, you're going to have it sent overland or how?
Fastest way possible. What is that?
Oh, well, he says, well,
Wait, I know a spell. I can cast it and get that message there immediately.
All right, Grundar.
Give that here.
I'm gonna grab like a. Hold on one second. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper and I'm gonna kind of like scribble on some words. Just some gibberish nonsense. And I'm gonna roll it up and I'm gonna hand it to Grundar. All right, you take care of that.
Grundar takes out the message. He takes his flint and steel and he starts. And he's just doing that. He's trying to light it on fire.
okay, yeah. I mean, it doesn't take long. I mean, you know how to light a fire, and yeah, you kindle it into a small, and it goes up.
If they don't respond within 2 days, they don't give a fuck about you.
I appreciate that, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna send one another way as well.
Max leans in a bit and he goes, "Where did you find him?"
He's okay. Just go with it. He single-handedly killed 2 giants by himself. He's good.
He's slightly touched in the head.
He's not right in the head. All right, yeah. So so Max, while he's doing that, he goes, rather than just burning the note, he says, there are a few among the nobility who have taken to using carrier pigeons. It's a type of bird. He says it was learned from the Baklunish peoples. He goes,
Okay. I think I remember hearing something about that when I was in school.
well, he says it just so happens that Rosalie has, well, I'm sorry, he grins a bit. He goes, Sir Cowles has a house of carrier pigeons.
Alrighty, let's go do that.
All right, perfect. So you guys trek to the far side of the shingles to one of the oldest and most respected parts of the city. Beautiful homes. You walked by this home yesterday, in fact. The gates are standing open, and you see this beautiful manor up ahead.
Max, what am I doing here again? Why am I here again?
He says, "Well, I would have thought you wanted to catch up with old friends.
Yeah.
Plus, he says you wanted to have that message sent, right?
I'm still with them, right?
Oh.
Yeah, you're there too. Yeah.
Is this where you wanted me to play the bongos?
No, Grundar.
Because I've got them.
Max looks back at you and he says, "Leon, and that was 10 years ago."
Yeah. Old wounds die hard. Old wounds die hard. Alright, let's go.
All right, so yeah, you guys. He goes, I already sent a runner to announce us. He goes, before I came and got you.
Oh, so nice of you.
Well, he goes, we wouldn't want to surprise her. He goes, that would be most discourteous.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, so you two approach the front of this. The three of you approach the front of this house.
Alright, Grundar, you're doing this. We're doing this together. Hold my hand.
Bongos now, right? Bongo,
Grunt-
do it.
Grundar, hold my hand.
Oh, okay. I put my bongos away.
All right, hang on.
Be funny if I cast an invisibility spell and Max is just like, "This is laying in," and it was like Grundar.
So you come up a wide sort of path, probably 15 feet of cobblestone wide by 50 feet long, and it comes up to a like a maybe a 5-foot climb up around these little curved areas, and then there's just like a little platform where let's say a lord who wanted to address an assembly could stand with the people slightly below him, and beyond that are a set of big double doors. The manor house is huge. You vaguely remember having been in it one time previously, many years ago, and it doesn't look like it's changed too
what
much.
you're talking about.
The gardens here are gorgeous, though. There are largely tulips of varying varieties that have just begun to spring up in this early part of the season.
I'm gonna
Maybe-
smack Grundar's hand as he tries to reach and eat one. Like, no, Grundar, those are not for food.
I wasn't doing anything. And I've got another one in my other hand. And
The door actually opens as you guys come up, and you see like a porter step out, and he says, "Lord Leon in Farvale, I assume."
Yes.
And Sir Paxton, so good to see you again. He says, "Please come this way."
I'm gonna I'm not gonna be brushing myself off.
Yeah, you haven't had Bethnan to kind of help, comb
Grundar
out.
takes notice and he's like,
Right? And of course, it just kind of gets caught like in the beard.
low key cast the spell
Right.
I can't actually pronounce.
Do it again.
On
Prestidigitation.
Grundar. Yeah, prestidigitation on Grundar.
Right. So you come in to this wide hall with like marble flagstones, and there's a landing, and another set of like curved staircases going up to that. Underneath of that landing, there's a hall that leads back to a set of double doors, and beyond it, you see a garden out back. There's you look there's like a little alcove to the left and the right. One appears to be like a round table with a half a dozen chairs around it, currently unoccupied. And to the right side, there appears to be a receiving room with like a couch and some chairs. And there's a guard, maybe middle-aged, but looks very, very tough, very burly, who happens to be walking between rooms. He makes note of you, but doesn't like make eye contact or address you or anything like that. Like he's just here to do a job, evidently. But the porter escorts you down and to the left briefly into like a smaller receiving area with sunlight streaming in over the garden. And you see her sitting there. She's sitting at a chair, wearing a lovely red dress. And Mary Max immediately goes over to her, and they do the little mwah mwah, kind of bullshit. And and then as soon as that happens, sir, she looks at you and Grundar, and there's just kind of a long moment as she kind of takes the two of you in. Finally, she says, "Leonin, it's been so long."
It
She
has been quite some time.
She says, "You look well." She says, "You and your companion, please come in. Have a seat."
Thank you. How have you been?
She goes, "There's much to tell. Too much for, one sitting, perhaps." She goes, "But yes, you could say that I've done well. My husband, unfortunately, is not doing quite so well. She looks up, like to the second floor. She goes, he is ailing terribly.
I feel like I
The
should just
doctors-
start rolling insight checks on everything she says,
Yeah.
knowing her background.
She says, the doctors tell me that he is unlikely to live out the season."
That is unfortunate. I know my father was very very fond of Lord. What's his name again?
Sir Cowles.
Sir Cowles.
Yeah. She actually make an insight check. Okay. She seems to put a little bit of stress on Sir Cowles as you're about to say, and she's like, "Sir Cowles," like so that you don't mistakenly elevate his position any higher than it was.
Okay.
"Something to drink," she says, and she looks to the porter who's just kind of like outside the door.
Yes, please. I'll have a glass of wine and Grundar.
Ale.
She just kind of nods to her porter and off he goes.
So I'm actually here. I have a bit of a favor to ask you. Max has been telling me about these carrier pigeons, and I was hoping if I could borrow one to send a message to Shibboleth, if that was possible.
"Oh, certainly." She says, "Do you have it with you?"
Yes, but it has very sensitive material. So I'd like to make sure that I get it on the pigeon myself and see it sent off.
"Certainly." So she says, while we're waiting for our wine to return, what has the last 10 years held for you, Leonin?
Oh, not much. Just, school and killing giants and killing a god and yeah, not much. What about you?
Grinder's looking at him like,
Tis just a minor god.
"Oh, nothing quite so fantastical," she says. "Although I'm not," she goes, I not that I disbelieve anything you've said, of course. She goes, "But life here is so very droll and mundane by comparison. A god, you say?"
Yeah,
now he's looking at her like,
Garander was a demigod, right? Kind of like not really a god, but it was a snake. It was a big snake. I'm like looking at Grandar having this conversation.
it fucking killed me.
Well, it didn't kill you. Almost did.
Will you?
I mean, it bit you pretty good, and you got poisoned, and you turned pretty white.
That sounds like dying.
But you're good now, though. Like,
You see-
you're still alive.
So here, I'll kind of set
You're
this up here. So Max is hang on a second. Max is sitting at a chair near here. Max is sitting at a chair on the other. So like there's like you're sitting in a chair, and then there's like a kind of a couch, a small, like almost like a chase lounge kind of thing that she's resting on. And then right next to the other side of her is where Max sat down. And you two are bantering back and forth. Make a perception test, Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah, you see that as the two of you are kind of bantering back and forth about this tale. She just kind of leans slightly over to Max, and she has like a little, like a handkerchief or whatever, and she whispers something you don't quite catch, but you definitely make out that she said something to him, and he is not nearly as able to kind of hide this sort of thing. He just looks over at her and says, I wasn't there.
How about this? Let's have a little fun, shall we? Max, you're still pretty good with the sword, right?
Grinner's taking notice.
He looks at you and he goes, I'm not dead yet.
Let's oh well, we actually have a room. Dang. Let's go out to the garden real quick. Grundar, you feel like doing a quick little sparring match?
Do I?
Come on, let's go. Always up for good friendly wagers and fun, aren't we?
Rose,
Just like good old times.
Rose perks up a bit, and she kind of, this is entertaining.
Grinner's taking out Lucy, and he started twirling it in his hand, just like back and forth, just.
So as you guys are getting up, Max says, you want me to spar with Grundar?
Yeah.
Should I not use this?
No, Lucille's fine. Or
Lucille or Lucy?
I could let him use my my fencing, because I have like a little.
I can use
rapier or whatever.
these.
We'll do. How do you want to do it? How do you want to do it, Max?
How do you want to do this?
Well, what are we doing here? Is this a wager?
I felt
think that's up to
we
you.
could wager. I don't think you guys believe me. So I'm here to. I think Grundar is a really good test of combat. Shows really good test of combat abilities, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Just a friendly wager. I wager 15 gold that Grundar beats you, Max. Around is what? 10 seconds?
6. Yeah.
6 seconds in less than 30 seconds.
First blood.
Perfect. Might not have been the best idea, but we'll see.
I'm gonna disqualify myself.
You hear Amir whisper in the back in your brain, "What are you doing?"
I know. Honestly, I could probably. So, obviously, 10 years is a long time, or 7 years is a long time. I probably have some sort of, inclination as to what his combat ability is, or his fencing ability is.
Yeah, he's a fencer. He's a damn good one.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm also assuming that Grundar is also really good at just combat. So we'll see what happens. If I lose 15 gold, it's fun.
All
All
right.
right, so I'm going into this with my 18 AC. So with Lucy, and I've come to call it the wall. Lucy and the wall.
Plus, it's entertaining. Everybody else is entertained.
Yeah, so Rose and you are kind of standing next to each other. You can't help but notice that she smells really good.
So he told Grundar, first blood wins, right?
Yeah, but Grundar, don't like try to hold back a little bit. First blood, knockout, either one.
But blood, there has to be blood.
First blood or knockout, Grundar.
You said blood, though.
Roll initiative.
Yeah. Oh wait, I have to click my token here.
Hang on,
Doesn't matter,
I'm gonna
12
roll
or
my
5.
Yeah, you're
initiative as
higher
well.
anyway.
Oh, are you getting involved? Oh,
You cheater.
I never said this was gonna be a fair fight.
It's already not a fair fight. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. So this guy, he
How do I roll
belts
initiative
on.
again?
We had
You
to
just
do it.
click on make sure your token is selected, and then you hit initiative. It's on your character sheet.
Oh. Select initiative. I need to make sure
my.
we. Second, I need to do it.
So I'm going into this
Okay.
with a inspiration. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, you're going into it with an inspiration.
Plus, you've got cards.
So yeah, I'm going to spend the what do you call it? The first card I got. I cannot remember the name of it right now. The Tangled Briar on advantage.
Oh yeah, I'm
my-
casting inspiration. Like
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just save it
before the
then.
fight starts, I'm gonna say you got this, Grundar. Go ahead. Like, I believe in you, my friend.
Okay.
So it's like.
Well,
low-key
you know what? I'll take the
inspiration.
advantage from the card as well. I'm just spending the card. Tangled Briar's gone. How do I get rid of that?
Just drag it out onto the map, and then I'll get rid of it.
There you go. So I have advantage on this attack roll.
So so basically what happens is
I want to move forward. Yeah. And
actually, we're gonna put you right here for a moment. So you guys are
okay.
kind of standing out kind of near each other, and
At
here's
odds.
you see that you're standing in the garden. Max has a sword and a dagger, like kind of a long bladed knife, and he
Okay.
checks them. He puts them, he has them in his scabbard. Rose, she takes her little handkerchief, and she says, "No one draws their weapons until this drops and hits the floor."
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So
And
as
and actually, hold on. You're probably back here, and she steps, she kind of steps up, kind of just does this, kind of flings it up slightly, and then it starts to
before
flutter
it
down.
touches the ground, I want to rush him and punch him in the face with my fist. I don't want to draw any weapon.
Smart.
Now, technically, you guys are all readied and everything.
Yep. No, I don't want to surprise him. But like, oh wait, and I have advantage. I didn't roll with advantage, so let me just do that again.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
Yep. I rolled twice. Oh no. Oh no.
Now add a D6
D6. isn't it?
to it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's 18.
Go to 13.
Yeah, this is fun, right?
All right. Yep.
18. Give me a second.
Grundar gets to smash something,
Oh wait, I forgot.
even if it's
With
one of
my bonus
best
action before I do
friends.
this, can I go into a rage?
Yeah, you sure can.
I'm in a rage. So I rush him in a bloodlust.
All right, so you close the distance and go in for a punch.
Immediately, 2 guardians pop up behind me.
Okay.
And
Do they
orc and a
really?
dwarf.
Yeah.
That's how this thing works.
That's
All
awesome.
right, so you connect. Go ahead and roll unarmed. Holy cow!
Plus, what is it?
2 more.
Yeah, 2. And
Jeez.
also, I attempt to grapple him.
I think that would be a separate action. You're either grappling or
Nope.
you're hitting.
Nope.
Wait, oh, is it a bonus thing?
Tavern,
Because you're
no tavern brawler. Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, he's got a pretty good acrobatics. So go ahead and roll your athletics.
All right, give me 1 second here. And that is also with advantage because I'm raging. Ooh.
That's tough to beat.
You gotta be kidding me. All right. You you just run up there and you like do this big flying jump, just bang right in the face. See, blood kind of spurts. And when you come down, you trap his foot and get a hand in, like twist it up into his tunic. And you see he's blinking hard. But a moment later, when the thing drops, you see he still manages to pull both weapons out.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are technically grappled, which means nobody's able to move at the moment, which is actually really, believe it or not, that was an amazingly smart move.
Hey, Grundar's smart in one facet: combat.
Okay,
Watch these guys be like level like 40 or something like that.
and then you already used your action to give him.
I used a bonus action.
Okay, did you want to do another action before all that?
I'm just gonna like talk to Rosalie, be like, so when was the last time you guys had like a sparring match here?
She goes, well, my husband has been unable to really exert himself in any way for probably a good 5 years.
It's great fun. We had these all the time at university.
All right, and
That's my action. Oh no! Hold the phone. I'm gonna get out my. I'm gonna start playing some music. I'm gonna play some combat music. I just
Okay.
thought about that.
Do 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 do. Sorry, goes with everything.
it's awful.
No, it's not. That means it's good.
Okay. He comes in with like a low slash with the with his rapier, and you end up just kind of smacking your hand down on it hard to try to clear it out of the way. And you get it cleared out of the way. But this hand's still kind of wrapped up in his shirt, and his dagger just goes thunk right into your midriff.
Hmm.
He actually hit you while he's grappled.
He did.
Doesn't do anything
grappling-
to prevent him.
Well, what it
hitting me.
does
just
do
prevents
is
movement.
it keeps him from moving, and that's actually a
Yeah.
really big deal for
from
a
getting
guy
behind me.
by this guy. But you end up taking 5, which is actually 2 points of damage.
So
You're not actually going to
with-
start bleeding.
I was gonna say, from
Take-
sheer power of will, I would like to prevent myself from bleeding with
Yeah.
2.
You're holding that blood. Okay. I'll say you got to take 5 before you really start bleeding.
All right, so
It's just beer that comes out.
Yeah.
it's like when you're really hungover and you just start sweating alcohol.
All right.
Ugh.
So yeah, he scores a hit right into your tunic. You feel it kind of punch in, but you don't. It doesn't really register too much.
So
All right. Lena, and you hear Rose go, I'm afraid your man might have taken a deadly wound.
See,
I even turn and look at her and go, "Ha!"
see, you don't know Grundar. It's funny. I've only known
Okay.
this guy for like 2 weeks, and I've
Okay,
seen him
Grundar.
take twice as much as that.
All right.
So rather than try to like extract himself away from you, he just tried to slash you with both of his weapons. You still technically have a hand on him. Now here's the thing: you have a shield. You can't draw Lucy unless you let him go.
as a bonus action, well, all right. Can I just say, like, just for flavor, as I do this, can I the arm he stabbed me with? I want to let him go, draw Lucy, and elbow him right in like the elbow of the joint and break that away. Can I do that?
Sure.
And then attack him?
Yeah. You you kind of kick him back using your elbow as you really grapple, and he dances back, and you come in with an attack.
And I want the dagger to stay in. Hopefully.
Okay, sure. No, he has
Aw.
it. He has it.
All right. So I don't have advantage on this one.
Dang.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Roll damage.
Nice. So 12.
You score a heavy slash with the sword against him, and he hisses loudly as he dances backward. You've clearly scored first blood, as it were, at least visibly. He
I thought he did that on the first punch.
No, it was just like a.
I did do fucking damage with a punch.
I thought you
Well,
said like blood flew out.
Yeah, you did get some blood there. Yeah. At this point though,
So
it's kind
why
of
did he stab me?
when Max kind of like breaks away backward, kind of clutching at his chest. He drops one of the knives, and or he had the knife in his left. He kind of drops it and tries to kind of press against his tunic. At that point, Rose says, "I think that's enough. Good dwarf, please stop."
Did you see what he did to me? And I pluck the knife out and I start bleeding. Ugh!
You see that Max kind of leans over and sits on the bench. He doesn't look terribly happy with what's happened to the front of his tunic.
I offer
And
him
he
the
says
last little bit of dark ale that I have.
he actually kind of comes away and he's like, "I think he got me first."
I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna walk over and say, "Good job, Grundar." And I'm gonna lean over, come over to Max, and put my hand on his shoulder and be like, "It was well fought, buddy. Well fought."
He goes, "Well, he doesn't act anything like any of the fencers here in Hawkok." He goes, he's still sitting down trying to attend to his chest wound, but he just nods over at you, Grundar. He says, "Well fought."
And you too. Not many would draw their second weapon when faced with that.
He goes, I fight with steel in both hands. I don't know about you."
And he brings up the wall and Lucy.
The wall. Rose goes over and kind of fusses over his wound for a moment, and then calls the porter to go get him some help. So they lead Max off. She then turns to you, Grundar, and she says, "And what about you, Grundar? Are you wounded? Do you need assistance?"
Ale, please.
She laughs and says, "Well then, bring him some ale." And so yeah, Max he's kind of off getting fixed up for a bit, and actually she says to you, Grundar, she says, "Why don't you go with my porter? He can actually show you to a wide selection of ales, and you can have anything you like." And off you go. Okay. So, Leonin, you
She
find
split the
yourself
party.
you find
knew what she
yourself
was doing.
alone with Rosalie for just a moment here out in the garden, she idly brushes away some of the spotting of blood on one of her benches that Max left behind, and moves over to another bench, and she sits down and kind of pats next to her and says, "Come, sit, Leonin. We haven't chatted in so long."
That is true. Yeah, I'll sit down next to her.
She says, "So, you've returned to Hawkok."
Yes, I have returned, and it's been long overdue. It really has.
She says,
I've
You've
missed.
already made a bit of a stir." She says, "The mayor has been announcing that a festival is in the works."
Yep, it is. You know me. I don't like to do anything subtly. Not the most subtle person in the world. But yes, a festival's in the works. We are. Well, my father's not coming back for quite some time, but I am. He's still maintaining his presence there in Shibboleth, and well, I've come to defend my home from the giants because I can't just sit by and let it get destroyed. It's just I just can't.
She says, "The city needs a stout defense." She says, "I've already heard that you have brought supplies so that the walls may be bolstered." She goes,
Yes.
That's amazing." She says, "That's fantastic."
I'm actually hopefully meeting with Sir Armistead today. Armistead, whatever. Anything you can tell me about him? I know you're very resourceful in some ways. Between us.
Well, she says, I do, in fact." She says, "My husband, Sir Cowles, is a member, retired member of the Knights of the Watch himself." So yes, she says, I've learned quite a bit about the Knights and how they operate." Sir Armstead is a very specific sort of man. Um, he, he he can be difficult to negotiate with. She says, not impossible, but difficult, if you understand my meaning.
I understand.
He takes his orders very seriously, and acts on them not only in the letter of the law, but also in the spirit as well.
Well, thank you for the information. So what is your plan? What have you been doing? Have you
Well,
just been? I know there. It's not like you to just be playing housewife. What have you been up to?
well, she says, I do what I can for my husband's holdings. He has some land, some property around here that people farm on his behalf, as well as holdings back home in Keelend and in Grand March. She says, businesses abroad. She says, I administer them to the best of my ability from here. She goes, but I am not my husband. She says, other than that, she says, caring for our son.
What's your son's name?
She says, would you like to meet him?
Sure. This is gonna get weird.
I love kids.
So how old is the kid?
That's kind of what I'm wondering as well.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a second. Whoops. Where'd that go? Oh, it's irritating me. She says, one of her servants comes by and she kind of snaps. She goes, would you fetch Andrew for me? So in the meantime, you're back to talking for a moment. She says, she goes, I really want to apologize for not continuing with our correspondence. She goes, especially, with the birth of my son, with, my husband's declining health, it just became all just a bit too much in some ways. I hope you understand.
Oh yes, I understand very much.
About that time, you see that like a nursemaid or something of the sort comes out and brings a young boy. Make a perception test.
Too bad you don't have your buddy Amir with you.
Oh,
Not Grundar anymore.
Yeah.
doesn't look anything at all like at least what you remember Sir Cowles looked like. Boy comes up. He's about the right age and says, "Yes, mother." She goes, "I would like to introduce you, my son, to Lord Leonin Farvale." He goes, "He's the son of the rightful ruler of these lands." And the boy looks over at you and he says, "Pleased to meet you, my lord." And he bows deeply at the waist.
I'm gonna sit up and kind of brush my hands off and say, "It's a pleasure to meet you too, Andrew."
And he looks back to his mother. "Is there anything else, mother?" "No, Andrew, that's fine. You can run along." "Thanks, mother." And off he goes. She lets the silence stretch for a bit.
Well, mistakes were made. I'm kidding. I'm not saying that. Not saying that. So why didn't you tell me? This is like awkward
Right to
real
it, man.
life.
Okay.
Like,
You say that?
yeah.
Jeez.
I'm just obviously I'm a very perceptive person. I'm gonna know.
Her face goes completely neutral, and she says, "I'm sorry, I don't understand your meaning."
Alrighty then. So where were those pigeons?
"Oh yes," she says. "Why don't you come along?"
I'll follow her.
All right. She takes you through the house up to the second floor, and then from there up to the roof. And there's like one part of the roof that's, you can walk around on it like a terrace. And then there's like this little kind of, well, I shouldn't say little. It's a rather large birdhouse. She shows you how to. Well, basically, you had kind of planned to send it in a written form. She's like, you probably need to rewrite it on this, and she shows you, this very small strip. So you do all that.
Somewhere, Grundar is pouring the strongest ale he can find over his dagger wound, just like,
The porter's like, he immediately stops you. He's like, if you insist on that, sir. He's like, why don't we go outside into the garden? You'll appreciate the flowers.
but it's easy to clean up the. Oh, okay.
All right, they appear to be gone. So yeah, so she shows you there's a little covered area where you can write small missives right there and right there. And she's like, if you want to rewrite your note or whatever, she's like, you feel free.
All right, I'm gonna write it there. Like, make sure she's not looking, right?
She takes the hint. She says, I'll be back downstairs.
Thank you. And I'll send it off at how she told me to.
Okay.
And then I'll go back downstairs.
Your natty light wounds. I love it. By the way, I had some friends over and I actually drank natty ice the other day for the first time in like 10 to 15 years.
I'm sorry.
I actually thought it was okay.
Were there frozen Twinkies involved?
Hey, I'm a Southern Iowa boy. I grew up on Milwaukee's Best and
Yeah, the
Pat's
best
Blue
chest.
Ribbon and
The best
hams
chest.
and whatever else we could get our hands
Come
on.
on, man. The
Milwaukee's
best chest
best.
is where it's at.
We call that
You
the
get 30
beast.
case for $11.
All right, so anyway, you write you get your letter kind of rewritten and off you send it. So Schlitz. All right, so Nate, you wake up early in the morning, and
Okay.
you immediately kind of you're awakened by the sounds of nature in your home. You know, the sounds of the particular birds that always nest nearby, just all the sounds of the forest, which generally speaking, unless there's a craftsman nearby or an artisan, maybe doing some work, it just sounds like the forest, right? There aren't people who are, not the Sylvan elves don't make a practice of being loud.
Right.
They operate not necessarily in silence, but in harmony with nature, which means, oftentimes quiet. So you wake up to those sounds, and it feels really good. But it's early in the day. What do you do? You feel pretty refreshed though after having run so hard during the night before. You feel pretty good. They provide food that kind of refreshes you quickly, and as you wake up you see that there's basically it's like lembas bread or whatever, right? And there's some right there by your bed.
Or falafel?
Yeah, or falafel.
Awful. All right. So after I eat and get cleaned up some, I'm going to go make my rounds and get my what supplies I think I would need.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
some of his own arrows and things like that.
you fall back into the familiar patterns of your people, and you you step out onto the little balcony at your father's house, look out, and you can see people quietly moving around the small tree town. You've got really great vision, and you look over like 3 trees over you could easily get to without ever touching the ground, and you see the small tree home of your beloved.
Right. Don't remember what name.
I know, I'm looking it up myself.
Was.
My God, we got too many names, too many things going on.
Yeah.
Gotta figure it out. Give me a second here.
The crazy elven names too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll when I'm set, I'll make my first I'll head back to from my place. I think he was at his own place, but he'll go and speak with his mother, make sure that she's well, and then head over to the
Yeah, you
to
do.
his fiance's.
You speak to the family. I mean, nothing's really changed. I mean, you've lived 100 years, and they've lived hundreds more, and so the time that you've been gone is like you left for the afternoon for them, right?
Right.
So there's nothing nothing significant there in the time that you've been gone. Her name was Volante.
Volante. Okay.
Here, a second. Volante Amakir. Yeah, so you actually can see her, in her inner window of her home, and she's brushing her hair in the early morning. And you're like, oh, there she is, most beautiful woman in the entire village.
All right. Well, he'll go and I don't know what their customs would be, but probably not. I don't know, a gentle knocking, kind of
Yeah,
Okay,
you
quiet now.
you alight on her balcony, knock
Okay.
at the door. She opens it up, sees you, and invites you inside. She goes, uh, Beleg Peng, where have you been?
I've been on a mission, and I've been interacting with the humans and lands outside of our own, and um, it's been very exciting. We uh, we had to defeat uh, a Naga spirit, and I was not until I spoke with my father. I was not aware of uh, how rare and like a dangerous of foe that was. Me and the companions that I had met on my travels, we we were able to best it and cast it away, and hopefully it resurfaces far from here when it does return. And on our way, when we were returning to Hawkok, we ran into a couple of giants, and uh, they were terrorizing a small village, and we were able to stop them. So it's been quite busy. I made
She
my
says,
way back.
she says,
Mhm.
well, so first of all, she's she kind of does the typical like, oh my God, you survived that, you lived through it, she seems very concerned for your safety. Although, this is a common exchange you have with her.
Right.
In some ways, you think she would much prefer you to settle down and not, um, you know, be constantly out there, in the forest, fighting and otherwise getting yourself into dangerous situations.
Right.
She says, she goes, the rumor is that Gwathsir, just west of Enderin, has fallen to the orcs. She goes, do you, has your father said anything of this? Are we being called to war?
Uh, that is true, and the rumors are true. And I passed tracks of orcs on giant wolves on my way when I was returning to check on the village. And unfortunately, the ambassadors um, from Hawkok are our ambassadors. I believe they had been following their tracks. So I pray to the Seldarine for their safety.
So did you tell her about everything that happened in Hawk and them leaving then?
Yeah, that they withdrew. Yeah.
She says then the alliance with humans is broken.
I said, I have to return to the humans to try and forge it. Actually, one of my companions um, is a person of great importance to them, and he's actually a half elf. So I have great hopes that um, we will be able to mend the alliance once more.
So did you also tell her, the troop movements, and the reason why that the ambassadors fled?
Um, no, I didn't get into
The
deep
details. Okay.
specifics. No.
She goes, that's a heavy weight for your father to place on your shoulders.
Well, I feel I'm up to the task, and I'm already in a good position to do to be the one to do it. So
How long do you think you'll be there? She says.
it's hard to say. Um, I'll have to see um, what can be see what needs to be done. It's a bit of a mystery. So I have to get some answers first before we'll come up with a solution.
She goes, well, I will wait here.
I hope that the village remains safe and that you and your family and all of our people are safe from the invading orcs in the land in the forest. Give her a kiss.
She returns it, and she says, take this with you. She goes, I think you'll be going into, you know, it seems as though you're destined for greater dangers than you faced so far. And she says, I made this for you. And she hands you like this sash that has like a pouch off the side of it. And it's all very beautifully embroidered. You know, really high quality elven work. You're like, you know her, she did this herself.
Thank you. This is beautiful. I'll keep it with me.
About that time, you let me find. You roll a wait, what's your passive?
15, I think.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah. You open that up.
All right. So what do you do then?
Um. Uh. I. I'll just. I'll tell her that. Unfortunately, I can't stay. I have to be returning to Hawkok immediately to get the answers that we need, and um, I'll bid farewell to her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
15.
you resupply and Lynn here.
Say you cut out on some of that.
I said, do you want to do other things around the town of Lynn here, or do you take off from there?
No, I think after I resupply, I've gotten my orders, and I'm gonna return to Hawkok as quick as I can.
Okay. Let's see.
Cue Lion King Simba running back home music
All
or
right.
video.
It's just another stroll through the woods for him.
If you consider like that many miles a stroll, then I think you are very athletically in shape.
You are running all day and into the early evening hour, headed back for Hawkok. So kind of jumping way ahead from the rest of the group for just a moment.
All right.
And let's see. Okay. So you're cruising along. And remind me when you can travel at speed and be stealthy, right?
Yes, my
Okay.
favorite train. I
Yeah.
can.
Make your stealth check.
Alright.
I think you have advantage on that too, right? With the cloak.
Well, they have disadvantage with the cloak, and I have advantage in my favorite train. I think it is.
Okay. Sorry, and I made a roll earlier, so you can switch back from. I have it set to only GM. You may want to change that on your deal.
Okay.
Okay.
I see.
All right.
So a 21 for stealth.
Give me a second here. You.
This place looks familiar.
Traveling along, and it's early evening. There are fireflies out everywhere, and from ahead of you, you hear very, very dim or not very faint voices. You think, um, in a very guttural language. What humanoid languages do you speak?
Um, I think I only speak Elvish and Common and Sylvan.
Okay. So you recognize it as a humanoid language, but other than that, you can't quite you don't understand the words. But like there's like this kind of like deadfall ahead, and you think that you see a great shaggy form, just the edge of it, kind of on the other side of these heavy bushes and this kind of dead tree. Um, and you've been running but moving quickly and quietly, and that sound of those voices has you kind of stopped short.
All right.
You're kind of just about ready to come out of these bushes that you're standing in, and then you stop.
All right.
So what do you want to do?
Shaggy form, gutter language. What about what about smells? What's this?
Okay. Yeah. What did we have? Yeah, you rolled your perception, or no? Okay, go ahead and make a perception test. Actually, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Person.
Smells musty. Um, I mean, it's definitely a large furred beast, but other than that, you haven't like you don't immediately see tracks underfoot, but there's definitely something up ahead of you.
Okay. I'm just going to I'm gonna want to stealthily get in that tree that's
The one
next
right
to
here.
me. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so you go climb
get
up the tree.
a higher vantage, yeah.
It's an actual D&D monster.
I've seen that before. Dear God. All right, so you go
Oh,
climb.
that was
You go climb the tree. All right.
all right.
Make an athletics test.
Okay.
It's enough to get you up in the tree. And when you get up high enough, you're able to see these creatures. You see an enormous wolf that has a saddle on it, and you see what appears to be 3 orcs that are very clearly trying to hide.
Hmm.
The wolf is currently like down on the ground, kind of in a laying down position
Okay.
or crouched.
How close?
Gillian hears the voice of
Yeah.
Gandalf in the back of his head. Fly, you fools.
Ah. I don't think I like the odds of outrunning that thing. Yeah, I'm gonna hunter's mark that wolf. Can I tell what the orcs are armed with?
Yeah, they appear to have large axes, very similar, but Grundar has. Oh, sorry, wizard stabs. And,
Wizards have large
You're
ones.
right, and also have javelins. Each of them carries like a brace of javelins.
You mean magic missiles?
Right.
Right. Do I think they've seen me?
No.
Any indication? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hunter's mark the wolf, and I'm going to go for a headshot on the wolf.
Oh wait, he already has advantage because he's stealth. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was gonna give him one of my cards to roll advantage with, but if he's stealth, then
Go ahead and roll initiative. I think you get it with advantage.
Right. Yeah, they're in my woods, so I just can't slink away.
I'm gonna walk in the woods one day and like carve off a little bit of tree bark.
He's going to be right there.
I'm gonna turn around and he's gonna be like,
It's a federal offense.
Did you guys ever see the film
I am the
Dogma?
fence.
Did you guys ever see the film Dogma?
Yeah.
You didn't say God bless you! All right. Okay, yeah, so you're up in this tree. You've managed to get up there without any of them noticing. They're all, behind this deadfall, but you're able to see all of them. And, you're not sure what's going to happen once the element of surprise is passed. But
Right.
you go ahead and you, as quietly as you're able, cast Hunter's Mark. I'm going to give them another perception test on that.
Does that have like a verbal? Let me see.
I've read that
It's not going to matter. Don't worry about
All right.
it. All right. So you go first. You have advantage, and advantage, like 3 different reasons.
Sure. And this is a large creature, I see.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
Are you gonna do any of your sharpshooter or weapon training?
Yeah, I think I will.
I'm gonna do plus 25 minus 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go. -5 plus 10.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Roll with advantage.
What was that?
That's not great.
Scalpel. That's not the. That's
Oh,
a
you
short
rolled
sword.
a short
It's a
sword.
short sword.
I clicked on the wrong one.
His
This is
arrows
it.
would be a lot more
Who do you think you are, Grundar?
potent.
There you go.
There we
All
go.
right. Okay, so, and it sneak would apply.
Sneak would apply and plus 10.
Yep, 14, 7, 22. Roll the die 6 for the hunter's mark.
Right.
We're so close to getting a crit.
I know.
Oh, there it is. 5. I didn't mean to roll that 20. That D20. Sorry, so another 5.
Oh my god. Oh, I don't have my numpad on. Dumb. All right, try this again. You bury the shaft right into the thing's neck. It howls immediately. It goes berserk. The orcs like immediately like go into kind of like a confused frenzy. Okay, so you kind of move around within the tree and then try to hide, right?
Yes. And they'll have disadvantage, right, with my cloak, so.
Mhm.
Alright.
All right, it's your turn again.
I'm gonna have to finish off the wolf before I can move my hunter's mark. So
You're gonna shoot it again?
well,
It's intense.
how high am I in the tree?
You're about 20 feet up.
20 feet out. What's the range on javelins? Is that like
About 30
30 or
feet.
something?
Yeah, about 30 feet.
All right. And they're just kind of scanning around.
They're getting to their feet and trying to grab at their equipment and try to figure out what's going on. The wolf immediately started thrashing around, so it wasn't like immediately obvious where the arrow came from. Or at
Right.
least you don't think so.
You know, I'm going to attack this guy
Okay.
in the chaos. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Straight up attack.
I'm gonna do -2 +4.
Okay. You still have advantage. Still, invisible to them at the moment. All that kind of stuff.
All right.
Okay. That hits. So
All right.
you 10 plus 2, 12 plus their humanoid. So was that 14?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So yep.
You sink an arrow right into his gut, and he starts screaming loudly.
And
He goes down on his butt, but he's not still. Like he's making a lot of noise and screaming.
okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay.
This is my buddy Taylor watching.
Oh, nice.
Brian, that's what I
Okay.
was
All right.
explaining.
The wolf comes right over to the base of the tree. Seems to have figured out where you are, and starts howling at the top of its lungs.
Damn it.
Okay. All
I was
right.
hoping its wound would keep it distracted a little bit longer.
Okay. That one comes. He comes limping over.
I'm gonna start playing Hail to the Chief.
Forget that. T-taps.
Nah. Nah.
And all three of them start throwing javelins at.
Can they see
well,
me?
hold on. Yeah,
They just know
so
something's in
he
the tree.
He saw you. I'm gonna have them re-roll. This time they'll have advantage.
He saw me with disadvantage.
Well, the what do you call it? The wolf is able to tell where you are by smell and other
Right.
things. So that yeah.
Sure.
So him having spotted you, they'll have advantage. Well, it'll cancel out. So let's
cancel
try again. Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, the first one back here, this one right here, who's wounded, he's like clutching at it. He points up. He seems to have spotted you. He's like, and the other guys back here orient and then fire. So we got two of them shooting or throwing javelins at you.
I know Grundar isn't there, but to just translate, he said, "What the fuck is that? Shoot it!"
Okay. The first one, oh wait, hang on. Okay, is he in range? Hang on a second. Let me make sure that's actually gonna work. Hang on. Because you're 20 feet up. Let's see here. No.
Do I have any cover to help too?
Yeah, he misses you. He would have hit you, but he's at disadvantage because of his range. The other one throws one up. What's your AC?
16.
Okay, that guy actually clips you for 6 points of damage. So one of them actually gets a javelin into you.
Damn
it. And then at the end of the round, an arrow sinks into this one, like right in the face. Like he's like, like yelling and pointing at you, and an arrow catches him in the throat and completely cuts his wind. He's done.
Well, that's convenient.
All right, you're up.
All
Now,
right.
Let's. You see it spring out of his neck. You immediately your vision kind of snaps right to him. You see an arrow, and it's pointing like it came from somewhere back here, to your east, which is the direction that you were coming from, and it has distinctly elven fletching.
All right. Okay.
What do you do?
Yeah.
The wolf can't climb the tree. He's just howling, but he's stretched out. He's huge. I mean, at full length, he's like halfway there, and he's jumping, trying to nip at your heels, but you're
Right.
out of its range. But it's trying to scrabble its way into the tree if it can. It really can't.
Can I go higher in the tree to get out of range, like another 11 feet to just get out of the range of their spears?
Yeah, it would be one of your action. It would be your action to make an
climb.
athletics test. Yeah.
Just a heads
The
up.
hell with that.
You're only going to be outside of their minimum range.
Right, but it
Well,
would be
that's
a disadvantage to
Right.
attack.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But you
All
can-
right.
you
Well,
can-
I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Well,
Damn it. I didn't want to have it influence that. I'm sorry.
yeah. I'm gonna stay behind cover in the trees. I guess I'm. Did they all see me?
Well, the one of them just before
He died.
before he died pointed you out, and the other two threw javelins where he was pointing. So you think
Okay.
either they just aimed where he was pointing, or maybe you were spotted.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Would I get advantage this turn on one of them?
Let's see. Based on your last stealth check, no.
15. Okay. All right. Well, I'll try and move again after I take this shot. So,
Amir's got the popcorn.
well, you know what? I'm gonna shoot one of these guys there.
Okay.
Yeah, with the javelins.
Yeah, they're readying another javelin to take a shot. They've only got maybe 3. They just fired one of them, so they've only got a couple more shots at you, but it could hurt.
All right. Okay.
Popcorn, nice.
D&D theater.
Here we go. So no advantage, so I'll make this a straight shot.
Okay.
15.
Okay, that is a hit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you're just doing straight up 12 points of damage.
Yeah.
That sinks an arrow deep into one of his pecs, and he kind of gargles out a bit of like a yell. Doesn't quite finish him off, though.
Okay, now I'm gonna move to another part of the tree and hide.
I'm sorry, you only
Go-
deal
go
double-digit
cover.
damage. But that's one of your low rolls.
Okay. You try to move out. You try to
Or
move out to a
Amir,
branch with
Amir's
heavier
like
cover.
subconsciously like
Yeah.
dying inside right now
I got good out-of-combat utility.
because Killian
I did.
Killian does more damage in one attack than Amir
2
has
damage
done.
ice knife.
Than Amir has done this entire campaign.
That freaking wolf is
Amir?
just howling like mad. Stop.
Well, if he's distracted on me, he won't bother
Yeah.
someone else on the ground, so it's all right.
This,
You hear another scream as. By the way, I don't know. The rest of you guys able to see what's on screen here?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Like I know you can, Ryan, because I've given you
So
permission.
I got the popcorn.
Okay. All right. So that orc that you just shot, you
That's
spare a
awesome.
glance, and another arrow sprouts out of him, and he goes down after that second.
Okay.
And the Dr. Pepper even better.
So
That's
the
Texas
orc,
right there.
let's see. The orc actually runs over to an area of the tree that you can't quite see very well, and starts climbing. Okay. All right.
Oh, you should like jump around and like tear into his back with your knives. Oh, that would be so cool.
All right.
You're out there
And then-
leaning.
And then you get eaten by a wolf.
You definitely hear the sound of orcish cursing, and you can feel the movement of the tree as this guy's trying to use his iron shod boots to kind of propel him up into the tree. You hear the shaking of the leaves and all that other kind of stuff. Nearby you, you actually feel the branch you're on kind of bow a bit, and
Mhm.
then this elf who is just like he's got like green like paint or whatever. It's like kind of like drawn camouflage on him. He just looks like a barbarian almost, and he just drops down next to you. You know who it is. It's this guy Corum. You and him have like been pretty much like the biggest competitors through most of the time that you've been a hunter. And not only that, but he has sworn to you that he's going to steal Volante from you one day.
Okay.
Oh snap!
Corum
enough.
drops down lightly on the leaf next to you, and he goes, "Gotten yourself into a bit of trouble, have you?"
I feel like I could write a song about that.
Nothing I can't handle. Thanks for the company.
He goes, "He's going to be on you in moments." At which point he then just drops off of the branch out of you. Okay, actually, it's back to your turn. I went past you, but I shouldn't have.
All right. All right. So,
See if I have something to eat.
do I see him? Do I have any sight on this guy?
You'd have to move around in order to be able to get a clean beat on him.
Can
And
I
that
do
would
that?
require a new stealth. Well, you can move at half speed in the trees. I'll let you do it with an acrobatics check. If you pull it off, then you don't have to rehide.
Acrobatics. All right. What do I have to get?
You'll know when you make the roll.
All right.
Oh, that's not good. You start to fall out of the tree.
Man. Start to fall out of the tree.
branch breaks.
Right.
So
You
it's
do.
not
You're
that
like, I gotta
just
get over
can't see
here.
him.
You can't
I-
see him,
I
so
fall
you're like
out of
you move
I
out.
didn't,
You're like
I didn't
trust it.
like natural want it. I came
no,
close.
but you failed by more than 5. You just need to roll a 10, and you got a 5. It was terrible. So yeah, the tree breaks. The tree branch breaks that you're on. You start to fall. Let's see. Hold on a second. So you're. Let's see. Where did you? You didn't move further up. You're
Well-
still about 20 feet, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's not.
Can I
That's gonna hurt.
Can I roll dexterity
roll.
save or something?
Oh God!
Oh.
You did roll. You take 10 points of damage and you're prone.
What?
Oh, he actually rolled bad for once.
This is not. I take 10 points of damage.
You do from that fall. It's 2d6 and I rolled 10. That's awful.
That is the rule. It's a d6 per 10 feet.
Okay. Boy, the wolf is now on.
I didn't get. All right. Okay. Guess I'm kibble.
He,
You're the kibble.
he didn't get his action on that. I mean, that was his
Changing my name. Nah.
He fell.
No, I just
and
tried to peer like a little bit around the tree, and
Oh, I thought that was
I'd-
just his movement. So
He was trying to move along a tree branch to get into a position where he could see the orc below him, and he fell. The tree branch broke.
Oh,
The
man.
wolf
it's
comes
like I've
in.
never been in a tree before. I don't like this NPC who gets to magically like teleport in and out either. All right.
All right.
What happens?
You get bitten, unfortunately, because you're prone, and you take 8 more points of damage. I need you to make a strength saving throw. Oh, never mind. You're already prone. It doesn't matter. You don't need to make it. You're already prone.
Okay.
Okay.
How
All
much
right,
more you said?
It was 8 more points of damage.
8 more points.
Okay. The orc screams in anger, and
Damn.
he tries to drop out of the tree. Let's see how he does.
Oh, please. An SD from the orc.
He only went like
yeah.
4, or he only made it up about 10 feet. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
he lands badly, and he also takes some damage.
But does he land
6
on Killian?
He
Oh,
does
shit.
not land. That'd be great. You
I've
break his
already
fall.
got a wolf on me.
Yeah.
Think I'll
Yeah,
be
so he
alright.
lands on the wolf. And he hurts the
Takes
wolf.
max damage. Oh, damn it. Yeah, this fight hasn't gone your way. All right. Let's see.
Well,
So
it wasn't
that's-
doing too bad.
Okay. Let's see. The wolf bites into you, and
Oh, no.
Oh man.
no, he already did. I'm sorry.
He already did.
Didn't we give you a healing potion at some
It's
point?
terrible. An arrow sprouts from the wolf's shoulder, and you see where it came from. Over in this tree up
Oh, yeah.
here, this guy evidently was able to make it over to a branch in that tree, and he's fired down from only about 10 feet overhead down into the shoulder of the wolf, but he doesn't do enough to finish the
Fuck that guy. I'd rather die than have that guy.
About to say, what's worse, having that guy help you or actually dying? I mean,
I would
Okay,
just
you're
die.
up. You're on the ground. You're prone at the moment. This thing savages your leg. What do you do? You've got a wolf nearby and an orc.
Yeah. All right. So
He's now
Yeah.
actually he's also yelling. Corum. He's like, "Over here!" But of course he's saying it in English. But both the
Mhm.
orc and the wolf seem very intent on you since you're on the ground. Now you can get up for half of your movement.
I can get up.
You don't want to
So
be
do-
prone. It's bad.
yeah, you
That's
want-
why.
Okay.
That's why he hit you to begin
They
with.
get advantage, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll get up, and I'll
Okay.
use
Now, if
my. Well,
you can disengage, but if you
Right.
disengage, then of course that uses your action.
He has cunning action.
It's a
He's a rogue,
bonus
right?
action.
Do you get disengage as a bonus? I can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you
Is
go.
it?
Definitely do that then.
That's
And you
a-
move pretty
that's one of the
fast.
cunning actions.
And you can ignore terrain. So, those are all to your
Forget
benefit.
his first level.
Just
Crazy.
shoot him.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, that wolf is fast. Definitely faster
Right.
than the orc. Orcs also have an interesting ability to move toward you when they've locked onto a target.
Okay.
So, someone's likely to get to you, even if you down someone. What are you going to
Right. Well, I'm gonna disengage and shoot the make as much distance as I can from the wolf,
Okay.
and
do? You can move
Uh,
35
uh,
feet. That's your movement. So you disengage, move,
okay.
and then shoot. Okay.
yeah. So 35. Where's he at? I don't know. Over here. Nah. Maybe I'll be able to fall out of another tree if I live long enough.
That's only 20 feet.
Didn't getting up take half his
Uh,
movement?
Oh, that's, well,
I can't see.
So in that case, he'd only be able to move,
yeah, about
15.
there.
you know.
You'll be able to move there if you also want to take a shot at someone.
Yeah, I want to shoot the wolf.
You're going to shoot the wolf. Okay. Now let me ask you, are you going to take any pluses, minuses, any of that kind of stuff? He's still got a lot of life in him, you think?
Can I give him a card?
Man.
You can still give your friends cards, yes.
Yeah, I want to give him one of my cards so he has advantage on the shot.
Okay.
All right.
Just go ahead and drop the card on the map then, Tyler.
Okay.
Go
I'll
ham,
drop
bro. Minus 10 plus 20.
that one. The Queen Mother.
Have you checked it? Does it do anything else? Looks like it's a.
It's a wisdom thing, but
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Probably wouldn't do anything
or
special.
anything with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
just give him advantage.
Okay. So, how do you want to play that out?
All right. Well, man, still got a lot
I
of
mean,
life in it.
the wolf. Well, okay, let me take that back. He's definitely bloodied. He's got what, 2 arrows in him.
Mhm.
The one that you put in him is definitely he's limping badly. The other one is in the. So he's basically kind of like in one, like the meat of one shoulder from Corim, and then in the neck for the other one.
Okay.
I mean, he obviously just savaged your leg pretty bad. But,
Yeah, I have to take him out. So if I have advantage now, I'm gonna go the was it -7 plus 14.
All right. Okay.
Hold my breath.
Ooh,
Oh.
ooh.
16.
That's what, an 11? 9. You miss.
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna start working on my new character, I guess. that was the great run.
You can play the
Well,
camouflage.
Well, wait, man. To capture your ass, Grundar can negotiate for your recapture. By negotiate, I mean break out with
Ain't gonna
seal.
be no capture. There ain't gonna be no
You're-
capturing.
You're at full AC, right? So you're at 16.
16.
He misses. This one comes running up. But before he gets there, let's see if your buddy's able to take him out. Okay, he hits him. I don't know if that's going to be enough to finish him off. The orc catches an arrow in the kind of in the thick of the neck, and he goes down. You still have a wolf on you though.
Okay.
5 simple words when it comes to D&D: never give up, never surrender.
All right, this thing is on you again. Now what?
All right. So now I now I disengage and get up one of these trees. Out
Okay,
of its
athletics
reach.
test.
All right.
You know the bad thing about what you're doing. You're giving Corum an opportunity to take the wolf out. Oh my God.
Killian's not such an honorable fool.
Well,
He said, well.
Hang on a second. Generally,
Also
I'd
pass
say
him up.
generally I would say that's a DC 10, but let's see. Climb.
oh, sorry, I'm almost out.
I gotta go deep.
Yep.
Got it.
You are having some of the worst rolls I think I've ever seen.
I
As a man who normally rolls
wasn't doing
above
too bad. I
12.
wasn't doing too bad till that branch broke on
snapping,
me, and
yeah.
it's been downhill. Haven't been able to roll good at all.
This is where the best stories are
Yeah,
made. Though, my
Even a
friend.
lower, generally 10 is, you don't make it up that tree.
Can I use the rest of my movement and just put some distance between us?
Sure. Probably 15, 15 feet. He's going to get one more shot at you before, it doesn't matter. He's going to reclose with you. And he's gonna
Okay.
get one more shot at you before Corum gets his shot at it.
Damn, I was like trying to keep the tree in between us, but he just went right through it.
Well, he just went around it. I mean, he's got 40 feet of movement. He's faster. And you're
He's
only
big.
half speed.
And he's big as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take out the scalpel and
Yeah. He just bursts
slice
through the
his
brush.
throat.
He snaps at you, but you're able to dance aside. And I'm gonna roll this in the open. Okay.
For Corman.
Oh, he misses it.
Ooh!
Okay.
And his
You're up
branch
again.
breaks.
And it falls on you! Oh no!
How you like it?
You're up though.
I think he sawed my branch when he came down and
He is your rival. He is your rival.
jackass.
God damn it,
Alright.
Gary Oak.
All right, what are you gonna do? You got a slavering giant wolf right up on you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if hitting it is gonna. I don't know if hitting it is gonna.
Well, you're gonna do an
Put
extra
it down.
dice 6 because you still got the hunter's mark on it.
Yeah. All right, what the hell? All right.
Wait a
I'll-
minute. When you took damage, the hunter's mark could go away, right? Because it's concentration. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to make that concentration test. I think the worst damage you took was from the fall, which was 10. So it's gonna be DC 10, I think, on your
It's
your
10 or
constitution
half the
save.
damage, whichever's higher.
My constitution save.
Yeah, I'll just make you make the one. You don't have to make 2 of them. Just Constitution save, DC 10. All right.
13.
You've been able to maintain the hunter's mark on. All right. That will apply to either melee or missile, whichever you choose.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna use my disengage and.
Okay. So you don't need to do it. You back away, get enough space, take a shot, take the shot.
All right. All right. I gotta take this thing down. I can't keep rolling bad here. All right, so I'm gonna go. Well, I don't have advantage, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to go straight shot then.
Okay. Okay, that's a hit.
Good damage.
10 damage.
Damn.
Straight 10, right? That's it. Do you have anything else? Because
Hunter's
he's
mark.
not human.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the hunter's mark. So do the die 6. So you have
14.
14 points of damage. Okay. you dance back away from him again, and you like line up a shot as he's just charging right at you. And he, howls as he comes at you. You put an arrow right down his throat, and he just like hits the ground and digs up a furrow. And of course, the snout just like comes to a stop right at your.
Boy, I'm hurt.
You're standing there,
See.
barely breathing hard, trying to get your breathing under control. And you hear from up in the tree,
Shoot an arrow at that jackass.
I'm gonna just run and tackle him out of the tree. No. I'm just, gonna give him a little bow.
And then
Yeah.
limp back to Hawk.
Fall asleep on the wolf.
Yeah, eat a couple good berries or something.
Yeah. He says, "It was a good thing I was there."
It
True.
was. Thank you for your help.
He says, "Are you headed back to that human settlement again?"
Yes, I am. I have to.
He says, "I'll make sure I take good care of our people while you're away."
If you know what I mean.
I bet he's a racist too.
I hope you do.
You say, but he's a racist.
Our
Because of the-
people are xenophobic.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, they
pretty
are.
racist. So
All right, so you continue on, chugging down a couple good berries on your way.
yeah.
Perfect.
I got
timing. I'm
that
out of
took me
popcorn.
down to 6 points. So I wasn't Grundar level in trouble, but I was getting there.
Guys, remember when Grundar was 1 HP?
Which time?
You've been
Really
zero.
good
You
job.
you were
Yeah.
Which time?
you went
Yeah.
down twice in one fight. and
No.
Nobody even healed you. I remember
Hey,
this.
I think you've gone down.
No, it was where who was it? Somebody like it was like you said he took one I took 1 HP damage where he like jokingly kicked me in the ribs or something like that. I forget what it was after the fight. And I was like, don't do that. Because I
I
almost
remember
died.
that.
Or no, it was when I killed the giant. That was right. Its
Oh,
kidney
yeah.
flew out at me. Its kidney flew out at me and dealt
Yeah.
1 HP damage. And I almost
you had
got
the
knocked
entrails
out.
fall on
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
Took a point of
Oh
damage.
no.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Back to you for a bit, Jason. So, okay, remind me. You went to go just re-outfit yourself with a few items needed, like just basic things.
Yeah, just some basics, spell, materials and kind of things.
Okay. And then what? Went to find your friends or what?
Pretty much.
Okay. So what? You head back to the inn that you're staying at?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You get there, and you don't see any of your friends. Well, I was going to ask Tyler where he was headed off. So it's probably sometime in the afternoon. I'm actually going to catch you up to really the next day at this point. So you spent the night before at your in your inn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, once you did everything you did that morning, where were you headed next? Tyler, were you gonna try to catch?
Was that asked at me?
Yeah, you were just sitting down.
Okay.
Were you gonna try to catch up with the guys after you talked to your dad and such that morning?
Yeah. That was the plan.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna fast forward you, Jason, to mid morning. You went downstairs at the where's it here? The Streamview Tavern, and you see Amir come walking in. Now you've had a gal talking to you for about the last 10 minutes, by the way. A somewhat cute barmaid who calls herself Delaney. She happens to be a halfling, and she's making small talk with you, Balner.
Small.
Yeah, she's
Small.
she's like, so you're from out in the outlying area. What's been going on out there? I keep hearing about giants and really horrifying things out there.
Yeah, there were the giants, and then reptile goddess that had taken over the minds of the town, and was trying to raise an army. And spring's starting to come along. It's planting season again, so it's a busy time.
She doesn't seem so excited about the planting discussions, but she keeps coming back around your table to ask about your adventures. About that time, Amir, you come in as you see that this gal just left his table.
Well, what's there to say? It's we showed up, and there was a tavern. They were drugging people, and so that wasn't good. Snakes, large snakes everywhere, trying to kill us, and people that were like half turned into snakes were trying to kill us, and people that weren't actually snakes were trying to kill us too. And then there was the undead and the kobolds, and there was a lot of bad things going on.
She's like, I want to hear more about this. She goes, hang on, I gotta go deliver some ale to the table. And that's about the time that she's walking away. That Amir, you come strolling in.
All right, I'll see Balner at the.
Yeah, you haven't seen him for nearly a day and a half.
Yeah. I come and sit down across from him. You missed one hell of a party last night.
You think that's a part?
Yeah, he actually does. Amir doesn't do that often.
Meanwhile, Gurdar is getting fitted for leather pants.
Yeah, Leonin had this place in quite an uproar, I guess you could say.
That is kind of Leon's. I had religious duties to tend to.
It's understandable.
Door bangs open.
Okay, door bangs open.
You see a big hulking dude standing in the doorway. He looks like he's part simian. You don't know. He's got like these kind of protruding tusks from his lower lip. He looks irritable, and he comes strolling in. The barmaid, Delaney, she like looks over, sees him, and quickly runs over to take care of her table. He strolls into the middle of the room, and he goes, has anyone seen a dwarf? About yay tall, dirty as hell. Goes by the name Grundar.
Sorry, you spoke my name.
He
And
looks-
who are you calling dirty?
He looks around and sees you, Balner. He comes walking over, like acting all intimidating.
Amir is actually laughing.
Okay. He looks down at you and he goes, "You're a dwarf, but you're not Grundar. Do you know him?"
I told you, I'm Grundar.
he's just like his eyes squint even smaller, and his little beady, his beady eyes and his big, sloped head. He goes, "You're not Grundar."
I had to take a bath. Come on.
Roll a deception check.
Yes. Yes.
You're making me hate this guy's face so much, and I've never even fucking seen him. I hate him.
Will Grundar actually want to fight this guy?
No,
That's not even a question.
he, he just kind of snorts. He's got some pretty foul breath, and he goes, "If you see Grundar, you tell him I'm looking for him." He pounds his chest and he goes, "I'm Ulgro, and I don't take kindly to slights."
And I kind of look over my shoulder
Wait,
at him.
wait, what do you?
What's your name again?
I'll go.
Couldn't hear you over you pounding your chest. Say it again.
Right, Ulgro! He roars out at you. Spittle sprays
Got
in
it.
your face.
Prestidigitation. Got it.
Sorry. Your name's Ogre.
We're just
Sorry,
baiting this guy.
This is taser face. No, sorry. All right. So he looks around. He doesn't see him, and he stumps out, slams the door.
What was that about?
I kind of motion Delaney to. Did you say that was her name? The
Yeah.
halfling waitress.
Yeah, a little halfling waitress. She's
I
just
kind
a-
of motion her to come over.
cute little buxom thing. Okay, she comes bouncing over. She looks relieved.
Not that kind of. Jeez. Anyway, say so. Is that a regular customer there?
No, he doesn't like the price of the ale here too much. He usually is down by the docks most of the time.
Cheap
He
bastard.
doesn't seem to like much of anything.
Yeah. See,
Very disagreeable.
since I wasn't there to see his epic duel with Grundar, I don't know what happened. Amir wouldn't know what happened, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't think Grundar would have said anything because he was too busy drinking beer. So,
She goes, "Do you want something to drink?"
water. Water's fine.
Okay.
I think he means
Water.
like beer.
Yeah, she's like, clearly, good call.
No,
And,
no.
he goes
Water,
skipping off.
water. As she's
Goes
walking away. Water. Actual water.
It's pronounced light beer.
That's what comes out of the well. He says. All right. All right. So she goes skipping off. Okay. So back to Grundar and Ryan or Leonin for a moment. You finish scribbling out the message on this smaller paper, in a cramped hand, and carefully wrap it around a pigeon. It takes you a bit of time, but you get it attached. And she told you which one to use, which pigeon to use specifically. She's like, if you use this one, it's headed off to Neil Draw. That one's no good. And these ones we don't even use because they went further west into Jeff, and there's nothing there anymore. Pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna,
So you-
use that one, and then I'm gonna finish the message that I sent you before, and then I'll go downstairs.
Okay. You send it off. All right. You find Grundar in the garden, splashing ale on his side, specifically where he took a stab wound.
Grundar, what are you doing?
Well, cleaning my wound, and then I'm picking flowers too.
Eating
Mom.
Natural healing process.
Putting him in my beard where the color is, because of the painting I've been doing.
Well, as good as it has been, I need to get going. It's been lovely to see you again. We'll have to do dinner sometime, and we are going to be having a grand ball of the sorts at
Grand Wolf.
once the festival begins, hopefully within the next few days. And I'd love for you to attend, obviously, but I'm sure we'll catch up before then.
Mm-hmm. She says, I absolutely am waiting my invitation. That sounds wonderful.
And I trust that you'll get in contact with me once the pigeon comes back.
Oh, of course.
Thank
she
you.
says.
Thank you very much. Grundar, we need to leave.
She says it shouldn't take more than
Okay.
maybe a week at most. She goes, but probably less.
Perfect. Thank you.
She rises as the two of you get ready to go, and she says, Grundar, it was wonderful meeting you.
He does a deep bow and like touches his face to the dirt and says, "You too, my lady." And he comes back up with like,
Dirt on his forehead.
Well, I mean, it really would just hit. He'd hit
You're
his
right,
Yeah,
you're right.
it's really on the end of his
he's
nose.
literally brown
Nose
nosing
of his
right
nose.
now.
Right.
He's brown-nosing.
And where do you head from there?
Um,
You see that
It's-
she's got Max kind of. He's like reclining in a chair, and he's kind of bandaged up, and his shirt's off.
Max,
So I look
I'll,
at Max
I'll
and
look,
I'm like, sorry.
be like, Max, I'll be expecting my 15 gold pretty soon here, buddy.
He says, "It's right there."
What the fuck?
And you
Wait,
see
wait, what?
A small pouch.
Always good for your bets, buddy. I'm gonna pick it up. And then I'm gonna hopefully head to the main castle. Sorry, I dropped something. I can't find it.
Head
And,
where?
to the castle and try and talk to Sir Armistead.
He has not yet returned.
I was about to say,
Oh, he
so
hasn't.
Horace
He hasn't
will be
come back yet.
It'll probably be another day before they get back.
Yeah, it would be very obvious. Like, a lot of fanfare. Yeah, it'd be very obvious if they.
And they're
don't-
coming with all our loot, so
If 1,000 knights came strolling back in through the
Come on
through the
now.
gates.
Then I'm gonna go talk to the current mayor for a minute.
Okay, so you and Grundar go down to visit the mayor.
Yeah, but first we need to stop and get Grundar fitted for a nice set of clothes.
Yeah, where are my leather pants?
All right.
Grundar needs leather stretchy pants.
You find that in the merchant district there's definitely a lot of tailors, and you find one that definitely specializes in fine clothes.
Yeah, we'll get him fitted for some clothes, pay for it, and then we'll go see the mayor. Obviously, I'm sure it'll probably take a while for them to get.
Yeah,
finished.
those clothes won't be ready today.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
No,
pay for a
Grundar
set of fine clothes.
insists that he knows that the finest orc shamans have many feathers on their hats. So he says that he wants a hat with
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of feathers.
Big hat. Big hat.
A lot of feathers. No,
Big
a lot
hat.
of feathers. I don't care how big it is. I want a lot of feathers.
He's like, he thinks on it for a bit. He shows you a few different hat designs. Come up with some feathers for that, no problem. He
Feathers.
actually he points to a couple he's got. He's got like this large black feather, like a single feather that's like probably this big. It's just this huge plumage of black feather. He says, "How about that on a brightly colored hat?"
That's one feather. I said I wanted a lot of feathers.
Hey, don't be rude.
Oh, he says, "Well, we could."
I said I wanted a lot, not one.
He pulls out these peacock feathers, like super long ones. He's like, "I don't know how we could fit this on a hat."
All
Just cut
right.
'em.
Yeah.
Cut him in half.
He looks
Should
over to
come?
you, Leonin,
Yeah, I
and
like
he
that.
says, "As
Come.
you wish, my lord."
All
And
right.
as you square up on this and get ready to leave, he goes, "It's good to have you back, my lord."
Thanks. Good to be back.
If I
All right.
find one single feather hat when I come back here, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
He just looks to you, Leonin, like, "Is he for real?"
Yeah, he is.
His face falls, but he just.
I'm gonna
nods.
make sure he gets some extra gold for this, for having to deal
Okay.
with. Basically, the 15 gold that I just got. Well, it's giving half of it to Grundar because he won, and then the other, paying the other half for his clothes.
7 and 5 silver.
Yeah, 7 and 5 silver. He's paying for his nice clothes.
All right. So what do you do when you go to talk to the mayor?
We didn't necessarily talk about like the festival or anything like that. We only talked about it like out of game,
Yeah,
so I was gonna go
right,
over
yeah.
like details and stuff like that, saying, "Hey, this is what we want to do." Can you see to that these materials get used for, well, probably the wall and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Kind of the stuff we talked about out of the game.
Yeah,
but
you
just kind of
spend
fast
you
forwarding
spend a
through that.
you spend a few hours with him, kind of talking about how you want to see the equipment dispositioned, and then the money and
Yeah.
how you the festival to go. And he says, you know, the the Green River Festival comes up in about 2 weeks. He says we could delay this for 1 week and then have an entire week-long celebration.
What do you think, Grundar?
Well,
Have two short festivals or one long festival? What's better?
the long one.
All right, long one. it
Always
is.
the long one.
Okay. All right. He says, I will see to it, my lord. He goes, just come back and see me if you have any questions. He goes, if I have questions for you, where should I send runners to seek you out?
That's a good question. I've been staying at the something Vine, right?
Walton's Winery.
Walton's Winery. I've been staying there, but I tend to frequent the bar, which is
Oh, the Stream View.
yeah, the Stream View.
He says,
And
then we'll check either of those places.
yeah,
Okay?
just check out those places. Or Bethnan's usually running around doing errands. Just find him.
All right. So where do you head after that?
We'll head back to the tavern. You think? Unless you're gonna need to go anywhere else, Grundar?
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Amir, you're sitting with Balner. Balner, actually, it'd be Balner because you're much
Oh,
better
one more
at it,
thing.
I
I'm
think.
sorry. I'm
Yeah?
sorry. On the way back to the tavern, I want to get out my lute and kind of just start like playing on the way, just kind of like a light strum on the way.
On the new
Yeah.
mandolin.
On the new mandolin. Sorry, not lute.
You
mandolin.
try to strum lightly, but it's loud. I mean, it's not like bad loud, but
Mhm.
it's just really loud. Did you take? Yeah, you did take the time to
Yeah.
attune to it.
I'm just gonna kind of like by lightly strum I mean more maybe like just kind of like a chill ding ding ding, kind of like a I don't know.
Actually,
Sure.
on our way back, I want to kind of find like a jewelry merchant, maybe. Kind of like a appraiser, even. And I want to take Leon in with me,
Okay.
and I want to, on our way, be like, look, I've been holding on to this, and I put the golden snake amulet into his hand. And it's worth 1,000 gold. And I say, I think that I need to liquidize it. And
It's a good word for the.
Can you help me?
I don't know how to make it into something drinkable. Sorry,
That sounds more like
couldn't help
Grundar.
it.
That's funny. That's good.
All right.
I think that somebody might try and get one over on me. So you might need to help me. You're better with words than I am.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll go in there and help him out.
Okay. Yeah, you talk to a jeweler in town and roll your. Well, never mind. You spend a minute talking to him.
Let's say you want me to roll it, I will.
Now, you know what? You're actually able to sell it for price.
Can I assist him?
Without any problem.
Because he gets -3.
Yeah, that would.
I still get a +6 though.
Cool.
All right.
So full price.
So you sell it off for the full 1,000 gold. I mean, and he gives it to you in platinum and gems or platinum, depending on how you want it. That's a lot of coin to be carrying around. So
There you go, Grundar. And we're just gonna go back to the
Give me
inn.
those shiny ones, not the colorful ones, the silver ones.
All right.
So couple
And I
things.
give you 20 platinum.
It's
Thank you, Radar.
it's probably late morning or close to lunchtime. You guys are approaching the bar. Balner and Amir, you guys are at the Streamview Tavern. Make an insight check, Balmer.
Insight check, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God.
This Delaney, she's really cute and she seems really interested.
Okay.
And she is just hanging out.
I had to roll that well to figure that one out, huh?
Yep. And you guys are sitting at the table waiting for your friends to show up, and she keeps coming back. She's rather entertaining. She has little, silly bar stories of her own to tell. She even mentions one about Algro, or his name was Algro, about him stumbling blindly out of the bar and getting kicked in the face with it by a horse. Just other crazy shit like that around the bar.
Wait, a whore kicked him in the face.
Right. And then about that time, you see a girl, Amir, come down from the upstairs. You recognize from last night.
And I wish I was there. Wish I was there. Can I walk in?
She's not the only one. She waits at the bottom of the stairs, and a few moments later, another one of her friends comes down. So these two girls, they go over and they sit at a table on the other side of the bar, and Delaney goes over and gets them set up with some food and something to drink, and they're talking. You can't help it, Amir, but notice that both of them keep looking over to your table. To use
Yeah!
I kind of figured that they wouldn't remember me. They were pretty slammered.
Yeah.
It's a slobber knocker.
Melner, you're a pretty perceptive guy too. You're able to kind of see that Amir seems a little uncomfortable, and you follow his gaze back to this table with two girls.
So, it seems you've become kind of a big deal around here.
Not really. Last night.
I'm sorry.
she was,
we could talk to a cleric about it. There might be a spell that can help that.
Prestidigitation.
Penicillin or Cure Light Wounds.
Cure natty light wounds.
That's awesome. That was great.
Burn
I
Hill.
love that.
No, she tried to have her way with me last night. I guess is one way of putting it.
Oh, you're.
I don't drink, and she drank
you're
profusely.
not. Oh, so you're just not into women.
I'm just dropping the conversation with Ballmer because he is not.
This explains so much. This explains so much how he ended up tied up in bed next to me at the tavern.
That
wasn't him.
No.
That was Lena.
Oh, oops. Oh, y'all look the same to me.
Racist.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
God, it's at 10 o'clock. I think we lost about an hour today just dealing with technical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to Discord.
All right. Well, let me ask you. I think I'm fine moving forward. With 4 hours, assuming we don't have any more of these weird technical issues, we should be able to get a full 4 hours. And I was really just trying to get you guys back together tonight and throw in a couple little tidbits.
I'm really kind of glad we started earlier because it made up for
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
technical issue.
Yes, I guess, yeah.
Well, and
I
it
do
gave
need
us
to get
some
going,
extra
though.
time to get Jason to, get reacquainted and stuff. That took a little bit of time, and so I think, yeah. Not Jay, yeah,
All right.
Jason.
So anything that you are like, hey, I to get lost in the text stuff, throw it on the forum. Like you're like thinking about like, I really got to get this done next time. Otherwise, my assumption is that you're going to carry forward with, the party. I think Nate, you're trying to get back to, possibly investigate further. You guys have a
Yeah.
couple loose ends you haven't really talked too much about yet, but we haven't had a lot of time.
We were all split up this game.
I gotta talk to Armistead still, which is gonna be fun.
All right,
See
guys.
Let me know I'm gonna
Associate
take
Dwarven
you calling
Hammer.
him armpit. So
I probably won't be taking anybody with me on this one.
no, it's just gonna be a thing for me,
All right.
not Grundar. Just kidding.
Also, real quick, for the
I'm not gonna ruin it,
like
okay.
5 or 6 people that watched us tonight, thanks, appreciate that. It was fun. Hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
If there was anyone on that was not us, thank you.
Yeah.
My buddy Taylor was in here, but I also dropped the link in my gaming group, so I don't know if any of those guys popped in or out. So
But also,
Well, and what I've been
we got
doing-
the World Anvil too. Make sure you mention that.
Yeah, what I've been doing, guys, is that I have been for at least the Tuesday night game, is that after the game is over, I export it to YouTube, and then it goes out to my channel, and then I reattach it back to the sessions. So, like, if you look
Okay.
at the Taking 10, you'll see they generally have a YouTube video for each one. Assuming that everything is copacetic for tonight's video, we'll start doing that tonight and then going forward. So,
Good deal.
all right, guys, we'll catch you next Monday.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.
Let's start at 6. Hopefully, we don't have any technical.
I can't believe that those women were just now waking up and coming downstairs. That's ridiculous.
Don't lie.